Pleased to be joined on the call by the head coach at William and Mary, Mike London. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning, Rob.
How are you? I certainly a tough one for your team on Saturday game that you guys were up for a good chunk of it and then come up a little short, 23-21. As you've gone back and looked at a little bit of tape, just give me your impressions on what happened on Saturday.
Yeah, hat goes off to Furman. They did a good job capitalizing on the miscues that we had. It doesn't help that in the first possession of the that you have the ball, we throw an interception for a touchdown for them. That was unfortunate, but Ty came back and got himself together. Played fairly decent. I thought he had a really great third quarter. His ability to use his legs, his arms was evident. Statistically, the passing game, the running game, total yards, explosive plays, we were out in front, but the bottom line, what matters is the end, what's up on the scoreboard. And so you throw an interception for a touchdown, and then we had a miscue twice down in the red zone, a poor snap that could have led to 3 points. And then later on, end of half situation, we miss a field goal. So we lose 23-21. You have an opportunity to make, a kick or so, then maybe we're talking a little different, but hat goes off to them. They executed, did what they were supposed to do, and they won the game. But I'm still encouraged about just kind of the things that we saw and defensively, just the different elements of guys stepping up. But got to make that improvement, as we all know, from game one to game two. And we're looking forward to having an opportunity to be home, our first home game here, and get going again. But I'm highly confident in the guys and the players.
Question for you this morning from Marty. Go ahead, Marty.
Good morning, Coach.
I'm Marty.
Just a couple of things. Talk about your impression of Tyler Hughes' first start. What you liked and what you'd like to see a little better as he goes on, if anything. And just talk a little bit about Maine and what impresses you about them and what concerns you about them. Thanks.
Yes, we know Tyler started a couple games last year, a game particularly, and what's interesting about a quarterback, even he went through training camp and all those things, is when you get out there and you're playing a team with no coaches, the elements, you're out there by yourself, you have to make the decisions. This is his first opportunity to do that, and I thought, like I said, that the first series wasn't indicative of the type of player that he's shown himself to be and what he's capable of being. I think that we talked to the coaches that he did a great job in settling down and in moving forward and making those throws. He can had a long 37-yard run and a couple other opportunities. And I think when you look at us, the details of doing things, cut your split down so you can make a block on the safety to allow a running back to go free. All those things like that, not as much as schematically, but just the technique wise. And so we gotta hone in on that for him, and he's got to trust what he sees out there and make those throws. Um, Coach Jordan has done a really good job at Maine. They're a big team. They have highly skilled players, athletic players. They got their inside linebackers back from last year. They got two All CA honorable mention players in the secondary, and they do a good job. And obviously, you saw the running back Baines. I mean, obviously he's got that speed to take it and go. The quarterback, he does a great job as well. He can run the ball. So very talented, very athletic team coming here back to Virginia. But have a lot of respect for their team and how hard they play. So we're excited about the challenge, make our corrections, and look forward to a competitive game.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks.
Mike, we talked about it a little bit last week, but a couple of new running backs with Rashad Raymond and Tariq Sims. They combined for about 90 yards in that game, a little over 90 yards. How did you feel like your running game went?
Yeah, it was, it did a good job in certain elements of it. But like I said, running the plays that we run, the difference between trying to bounce it to the outside and sometimes put your foot in the ground and go vertical is having those type of opportunities and that kind of mindset. And you go back and you look at the film and you see, just so many plays of just that one step, that like I said, that alignment, those things like that, that 1 to 2 read or whatever it might be. So this week is about us correcting those things that were on the field that could lead to positive plays that turned out to be plays that were negated. That's for everybody. And so I think that that's a good thing for us to learn and know that you got to pay attention to the details. And so we're excited about this opportunity to get better, have a competitive team come in here and play Zabel Stadium, and and watch these players improve from game one to game two.
There's a lot of new guys in that receiving room too, and 8 different guys had a catch in that game. And just sort of in general as a group, did you feel like they performed pretty well?
Yeah, Rob, you said that there are a lot of guys in the receiver room, and it's a good thing. It's also a thing. It's a growth thing, and I think, like I said, when you have an opportunity to see yourself play and execute. And if you just by a few couple steps inside, creating angles, the way you come off the ball, all those things like that are highly critical to a successful play. And we got to do a better job in executing those things. And so to look at the success of those things, if you do, the details of the little things. And so have confidence in our receivers. I have confidence in the team. Like I said, I thought we played really well defensively, did a lot of good things. I think they rushed for like 58 yards, sacked the quarterback 3 times, created 3 fumbles, but only got one. And the opportunity to scoop and score on that one didn't materialize. But we got to continue to keep getting better in terms of all facets. And I look forward to the challenge of this week.
As you said, I mean, you hold them to 237 yards. I think you would take that most Saturdays, only 58 on the ground. Luke Banbury, who I think you knew you had a pretty good one coming in, but 14 tackles, and then Harrison Johnson, career high 13 tackles for him. Just talk about the way those guys played, and were you surprised that maybe that unit was able to come together and play so well right out of the gate?
I think that Luke came and like I said last week, he just fit in with the culture here. He just fit in with the players. Very smart, intelligent player, very physical, and he had the chance to work with the inside backers, Harrison, all those guys, and just kind of fit. And those two guys playing well is critical for our success. I think the guys up front, Dab D'Annunzio and Ty Gordon and Brady Eccles, those guys like that, they also provide an opportunity to be stout in the run game. But we're going to have to do that because this team we're getting ready to play has big guys up front, and they have running backs that like to go downhill and create those opportunities for explosive plays. But Luke's been a leader for us. Happy for him. But we got to continue to keep getting better to make sure that we shore up opportunities to create those turnovers, to scoop and score, to get in front, hang on to interceptions or things like that occur. But I'm very highly positive about where we are now, so we can take care of the correctables.
How much excitement for you and your guys? You mentioned your home opener and the conference opener in the same night. How much are those guys looking forward to that stage?
Oh, you always look forward to the home opener, and I think we were in the top level of attendance, for the CAA in terms of our home games, and so we're excited about bringing that crowd, that energy here, and it's just part of the experience of the home games, the away games, the atmospheres, all those things. You got to be able to adapt and adjust to all of them, but it sure is great to be sleeping in your own bed when you wake up on Saturday, and those things that are familiar to you, but. I look forward to a lot, a great crowd here, great home opener against a really good football team.
Yeah, I know you touched on it with Marty, but obviously with Maine, um, you know, Liberty is a pretty strong program. They're 7-7 in the fourth quarter with them. As you've gone back and as you started to take a look at them, what did you think they did so well to stay in that game and keep it so tight?
Well, obviously the running game that allowed them to move the ball. Like I said, the running backs, Baines particularly, does a great job of, as I was just saying, bounce it or put your foot in the ground and go vertical. They run that inside zone, outside zone. They do some things. The quarterback is athletic as well. They'll take their shots down the field. Defensively, it's just kind of the bend but don't break mentality, and they were doing that. Whether a team is inflicting themselves with miscues, you got to be able to also hold yourself and your players accountable to making sure things work for you. And I thought they did a really good job of if you talk about playing ping pong back and forth, just like hanging in there, making those plays that are necessary, responding back to plays that Liberty may have gotten. So that's part of the game. That's how you play the game. And I think they did a really good job of doing that. So, we're going to have to make sure we're on point and more detail in how we go about doing our things as well.
All right, Mike, thanks so much for the time as always.